Chris here, Real Ale 140. Nice to see you again. Not that I can see you. But today I'm going to drink some more beer because I like drinking beer. Thought I'd share some thoughts with you and see what if you want to contribute, please do. Today I am in the business of drinking either a Chimay or a Chimay. It's a Trappist beer. 9%. Now, for those of you familiar with the term Trappist, you'll realise it relates to monks. For what I understand, this one particularly comes from a Benedictine monastery. St. Benedict was pretty hardcore. He went and lived in a cave for several years until some people begged him to become an abbot. He didn't like his rules when he started up, and that involved, he had some like 70 rules, but the key of it was stability and then fidelity to the ways of the monastic life, and the other one will come back to me. Yeah. Anyway, he was a really hardcore guy. He died praying. Common misconceptions about these guys. You know, you think of a monk, you think of a man who doesn't talk, you think of a man who doesn't say anything. They are allowed to talk, they're just not encouraged to talk nonsense. They're not, because if they talk nonsense or if they talk frivolously, it might give them an into disobeying God. The same goes for laughter. You don't often see monks having a good old belly laugh. Maybe they just don't know any good jokes. I don't know. So, got my glass for pouring it. I've got a 330 Chimay bottle. I've tried to get it as best as I can to cellar temperature. The bottle tells me very little. Okay, it says it's an authentic Trappist product. That's good. I'm going to open this with me Durham Brewery opener. Haha. A bit of smoke on that. Don't really pick that up. Quite slow moving. Bit of fizz. It's bottle conditioned, so there's some live yeast in there, so that's why you're going to get some of the fizz coming up the neck of the bottle there. Don't be too concerned. Let's get the pour on. Now, I wasn't expecting this kind of liveliness. You'd expect monks to drink something quite dull in its consistency, I suppose. But I don't know if you can pick up the light and then the bubbles and that. Probably not. You can certainly see the head. Head's a lovely off-white, light brown head almost. You know, that's good. Leaving some lacing on the glass there. Yeah, you'd expect a monk, I suppose, to have something very dull and boring. I don't know, Spitfire or something like that. But I'm going to have a sniff of this. It's the first time I've tried one of these, so it's as exciting for me as it is for you. I'll tell you what I'm picking up off of that. And I don't know if it's just because I've got kind of monks in my head and monk-ish lifestyles and pictures of monks in my head. It smells bready. I'm not getting much of fruit off the nose. Maybe a touch of the kind of Christmas pudding end of things, but only a touch. So I'm quite busy with the carbonation now, so that yeast is quite live. Like I said, it's 9%, so I'm gonna treat this with respect. This isn't one that you're gonna whack down quickly. So I will be supping rather than downing for the purposes of this review. I will also be saving some for the wife who's keen to try this kind of beer. No real clues there. So cheers.
Dark, isn't it?
Mm. Blimey. Whew. Wow. That is really, really interesting. There's lots going on in there. Just from the, looking at the colour and having a sniff of it, you wouldn't guess that there would be much going on, but these guys, I think they actually do know their beer. And you don't associate monks with beer, I suppose. Maybe you do, but I don't know. You shouldn't associate lots of religious people with lots of activities, but they'll get up to it. Not naming any names. Current Pope, whatever your name is. It's Benedict, isn't it? Mm. Yeah. Can I have another taste just to check those flavours?
Sorry.
Mrs. Real 140 there, ignoring all protocol. Okay. I'm getting the baked bread off the flavour as well. But what I'm picking up, and I didn't get this from the nose, is dark black cherries in that. A bit like we used to have, I don't know if they still make them now, but years ago one of my favourite yogurts was the Ski black cherry yogurt, and I get a hint of that in that. It's good. In a good way. It's not with in the whole off milk yogurt sense. It just with the black cherries, but the way that flavour was moderated by the yogurt, you kind of pick up in here somehow. Maybe some raisins in there. Now raisins do have their place in beer. It's nice to see them pop up sometimes. Raisins don't have a place in curry, but that's fine. But they do have a place in beer. I like what they've done with this. I think our monkish friends, who will very clearly not be watching YouTube, I'd like to give you a rating. This is 2011. Just before I do give a rating, it's a 2011 vintage, so that's last year. Apparently you can lay these down for a couple of years, and I'm guessing this is not saying it is, but it says 2016. So you could leave this now for another 4 or 5 years, and it's going to carry on getting better. And I'm tempted just to get one and stick it at the back of the cupboard and hope to forget about it.
You'll drink it next week.
Or my wife will probably drink it next week.
No, you will.
In the middle of the day, just before the school run, something like that. There's a nice mouthfeel to it, actually. It's respectfully heavy, but it's lightened somehow by the carbonation. It's quite carved. Yeah, that bread flavour just keeps coming in. It's yeasty, doughy, bready. Oh, really good. You'd have to be very careful with this. This could slip down actually far easier than the 9% would suggest. So anyway, on to a review number. It's a new style of beer for me. I can't see myself settling down with it every day, or after a day in the garden, or when I went to the pub. But as a type of beer and as a new style of beer, I'd like to give this an 8. It's interesting. It's really worth a go. So if you'd like to give something new a go, and they do this in Waitrose, I believe, and they do a red version of it, which is 7% in Morrison's at the moment, give it a whirl. Cheers.